Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right, man. Now from what I heard, the news reports are coming out saying that they called a truce between the Latin Kings and the Stones of Chicago. That basically they went into some area of Chicago and they worked out some kind of treaty for the time being. We'll see how long that lasts. So now everybody is yelling hip hop hooray, black and brown unity. I don't think so. The only reason why they called a temporary truce is because those black dudes went there and smacked one of theirs. And which at the end of the day, I don't want to get into that gang stuff because, that's getting a little too deep. But at the end of the day, excuse me if I'm not impressed by saying hip hop hooray, it's a black and brown alliance. No. Since when? I want to tell you some stories right quick. And I want to make this very clear. I don't hate Mexicans. I don't hate Hispanics. Whether they consider themselves black Hispanics or just Hispanic. I don't want to get into that right now. I've already touched on that. But I'm going to particularly talk about, in particularly the black and brown situation. Okay. And like I said, this has been going on for a while. And I say this once again, I don't hate Mexicans, but at the end of the day, am I going to extend the hamburger helper hand and let's unite and throw up the fist? Fuck no. Because it's too much history, bad history. Because I need to tell you about my experiences. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up in Northern California. For the most part, I didn't have no issues with certain type of Mexicans. Now, you had the Chicanos, the, American born, and they more adapt with American culture and particularly the hip hop culture. So they sort of in line with, black culture, but the same token, some of them still don't respect blacks, which I don't understand. How can you not respect blacks or like them, but then you emulating their black culture? You trying to talk like you black and all that stuff and saying nigga and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, that just be tripping me out. And that's like the biggest hypocrisy I ever seen. You want to emulate something. Obviously you like it, but then you don't respect the people that created it. But then again, it's black people's fault. But the Chicano Mexicans, I really ain't had no real issues with them, you know. But then you have the ones, like I say, the traditional ones, and then you have the essays who are just, they talk different, they have a different mentality, and you see the difference when you go to LA versus California, Northern California, in particularly from San Jose to, maybe Sacramento. Because when you start going towards Fresno, it's half and half. When you get to LA, you clearly see the difference. So I kind of understand why the tension between the blacks and the Mexicans is so thick out there. And it's bad. And you can't come on here and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about because I go to LA a lot. I've been to LA a lot. I go to LA to cover fights. I got fans. I do got fans on my channel. I got family out there. I got friends, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But you really see the difference. At least where I'm at, they do try to talk to you and they try to, be cool with you and they try to, they at least conversate with you, try to be cool, because I remember the days of the slideshow. They'd be out there. But man, when you go to LA, they don't want to make eye contact with you. They act like they don't even want to talk to you. They don't want you talking to them. So you see the difference. You see the difference. And you just be like, damn. And I started seeing that as I started going out there because, like I said, there's certain areas in LA, and they don't want to, they don't want people to know about that. And I'm gonna get to Chicago in a minute too. In certain parts of LA, you go to the wrong neighborhood, it's bad. It's gonna be bad. Because like I said, I'm gonna tell you this story again. I've said this before. Like I said, I remember when I went down to LA before. Like I said, this was like in the early 2000s. This is before the navigation system like really kicked in on phones. This is like people still was working off the flip phones. So this is before the touchscreen phones. We like maybe four or five more years from iPhones and touchscreen phones. So, like I said, it's before the navigation system stuff started. So, okay. So I'm traveling down there, you know, and I forgot where I was going, but I was going down there to hang out. So I drove down there. So I went into one of them, Mexican neighborhoods. I think it was where the Avenues gang was. And they have a long history of feuding with blacks. So I go down there, I'll roll down the window and I tell dude, hey man, excuse me, do you know how to get to the freeway to get here, to get there? So the dude, he was one of them, had the tattoos and all that stuff on there, all the tattoos with the, people on there that, all them different tattoos. So he tells me, yeah, you need to go here, go there, and then drive for about 20 minutes. Then that's how you get there, get off the. And then he said, hey man, you need to hurry up and get out of here, man. And he had that slanted accent. He said, you need to get up out of here, man. This is just real talk. Cause if the homies come through and they see you, it's gonna be problems. So you need to just get up out of here, man. Cause if they see you, for real. So he basically giving me warning, saying that if a homeboy see me, it's gonna be problems. But like I said, he didn't know that I was tooled up. I was ready to go. I had things on me, ready to go. His homeboys wouldn't have even got a chance to reach for anything because I would have tore their chests up, and that's all I'm gonna say. But I said thank you, got up out of there. So that just goes to show you how bad it is, and it's been a history of that going on. But the thing is, they don't want to address it. Then they want to play these games like they don't know. They do just like white people. They don't want to play they want to play these games and act like they don't know what's going on and like it's all good out there. Like I say, I go out there all the time. And then you got people that live out there and they play them games too. Cause I told you that's why I don't say that black and brown shit. Okay? Cause it ain't no black and brown unity. It's complete bullshit. It's a myth. It's just like Santa Claus. They do their thing and we do ours. Like I said now, due to the fact that the cameras are rolling and everything, yeah. Like I said, we'll see how long that truce lasts. But at the end of the day, they started it. Okay? But to a certain degree on some black shit and some street shit, hey, that had to a certain degree, it had to be done. Sometimes you have to send a message like, hey man, that ain't gonna be tolerated. You running up to my car and snatching people out the car, and you running up on people, beating them and punching them and all that kind of shit. So at the end of the day, sometimes you have to send a message like that. you know. But I listened to Superboy, Your World. Listen to Harvey. Shout out to Harvey. Love his channel. Been listening to Harvey since I got on YouTube. And he from the Chicago area, and he basically broke it down about Cicero, the history of it, and what happened, how the Hispanics got there. And he said that been going on for years. So he said it didn't surprise him. But that's what I was saying. It's been like that for a while. Yeah, you may have people generally, yeah, that's cool with blacks, but as a whole, because let me tell you something. I just had a sub tell me that on his job, he said that the Hispanics there don't fuck with him. Now, I'm going to tell you, I done had some jobs where I worked with Mexican people. You know, I had some temp jobs and shit, which I wasn't tripping off of because I was getting my street money. So at the end of the day, you know, sometimes you work a temp job just to get some extra dough and shit, just, you know, for whatever reason. So I worked on some temp jobs and I would go there, and a lot of times the the people that would give me the most trouble on jobs, temporary jobs or just job period, would be Mexicans. And I know people saying, "Oh man, you singling out." I'm just calling it how it is. And they would do this every temp job I work at. They'd be trying to get the blacks fired, or they'd be fucking with the blacks. You know, they wouldn't want to. You know, if they come near, they didn't want to properly train them. Then they'd go to the management. Oh, he lazy. He don't want to work and all that type of shit. And then they'll call you one day before you get ready to go to the job and be like, "Oh, your assignment has ended. They don't want you back. They say you wasn't working hard," or and that happened to me quite a few times. The white people, they wouldn't bother me. The black people, we'd just be happy to see each other. Because I remember this job I worked at on 98th Avenue. Uh, I don't know if it's still open. It used to be Gerber Foods, but they ship like canned goods out of there. And I worked there for like a month. And I just remember me and this dude worked there, and I'll never forget this. It was a dude, I ain't gonna say his name. He was from Frisco. And me and him to this day is still cool with each other. We still talk to each other on the phone and all that type of shit. So it's funny. Um they sent me and him down there. So our job was to unload the shipping trucks, you know, with imported food from overseas and stuff. You know, canned goods and stuff. You know, we would take them and put them on pallets, and then they would put them on trucks and they'd be delivered to stores and all that kind of shit. So I remember me and this dude, I mean, um, they'd tell us that we needed to unload, and I'm talking about that truck would be filled to capacity. They would just like basically brick brick style, you know, basically put it in brick formation. Like basically they just would fill the truck up so it wouldn't be no pallets. I'm talking about they would fill it end to end. So they would tell us, me and this dude, they'd tell us the minimum, and I think they was some 24-foot trailers. They wasn't like 48 footers. Most of them was we'd get a 48 footer every once in a while, but most of them was 24 footers, and they was like in them shipping container, like where you know they put them on the, you know, put them on trucks, attach them to trucks. So me and this dude, we came up with a system. So we'd be getting, man, we'd be knocking them trucks while other people, the minimum was 2. We was knocking down 4. We was knocking down 4 an hour. Now, and then here go the thing. The boss was Mexican. Now you would think he'd be impressed. And it was this Costa Rican dude. He was like our supervisor, but he was cool. So let me tell you what they did. Instead of them being happy with our work, people was getting mad. The Mexicans was complaining to management saying that we was trying to make them look bad. So the dude came complaining. I mean, dude say, man, the Costa Rica dude, he say, man, they hating on y'all. And we was like, who? And I could tell how they would be looking at us, how quick we'd be loading them trucks. Because keep in mind, they supposed to work so much harder than black people, right? Which is complete bullshit. So, real talk, they'd be like complaining to management saying that we was trying to show, and we wasn't, we was trying to do a good job. So the Costa Rica dude was like, man, them Mexicans hating on y'all, man. I was like, what you mean? He said, yeah, they complaining to Jose saying that y'all trying to show them up. And I was like, we just trying to work. So I was like, damn, you can't win for losing. Now, if you work too slow, then they say you're lazy. If you work too fast, so we already knew what was going to happen. But eventually, to make a long story short, they moved the dude to the other side of the warehouse for no reason. And then they kept putting me with dudes that couldn't move like the other dude could. So eventually, they fired him for no reason. Talked about it was slow. And they had a dude there the next day. And then the dude already told me that they was going to do that. Because he said, yeah, man, they've been doing that for a minute. And the dude, he really was trying to fight. He really was trying to fight to keep me in, but he was just a supervisor. The dude that ran the place was some dude named Jose. But I'm like I said, I'm gonna tell you at the end that he got his karma. And then dude was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to keep you here, man, but dude hating on you and shit. I'm like, I don't get that. He said, and then dude said, you know what time it is? He said, you know what time it is? So I was just like, I said, I ain't really tripping. I said, but yeah. And dude had told me, he said, yeah, man, dude been doing that. He said, yeah, that's what he do. He said that's what he do. He said they bring people here, and he say they'll just let them go and say it's slow. But there was another dude that worked there, another black dude. They would try to keep all the black dudes separate. They didn't want us like working together. So like I said, they ended up getting rid of me, saying that it was slow. And like I said, none of the dudes that they tried to put with me couldn't keep up with me. So of course they used that as an excuse to get rid of me. But when I was going faster, they still was complaining about it. So that's some of the problems I done had, and that stick with you, whether people like it or not. It stick with you. You just be like, damn, and that pissed me off. Now you run across shit people everywhere you go. But like I said, I've had this problem with a lot of jobs. And then like I said, they'll send you to these temp jobs, and then they will put a dude with you that couldn't speak a lick of that couldn't hardly speak English. So you like, why do you got this dude training me? And he speaking slanted English. So yeah, it goes like for real. I just gotta keep it 100. People don't be wanting to hear the truth, but you gotta accept it. So it's been long issues of racial or cultural tension, whatever you want to call it, between the black and brown. And we got to stop pretending that they don't exist. And that's the biggest problem. The same way people want to pretend that racism don't exist, people want to make it look like that it's all love between the black and the brown, and that couldn't be the furthest from the truth. And people get mad at me because I don't, go with the grain and say, yeah, black and brown. For what? At the end of the day, I'm a black man. And I'm not anti-Mexican, but at the end of the day, I'm just keeping it 100. I got to tell the truth. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. Now, are they all bad? No. But what I'm saying is, you gotta stop pretending that it's all good as well. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. As far as the truths go, I hope it lasts. But if you think I'm finna sit up here and be talking about my brown brothers and sisters, you sadly fucking mistaken. It's too soon. Long way to go. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.